Thank God you've returned. I need your help. For reasons you'll discover, I can't send you to Riven with a way out.
Okay.
All right, Taronin, narrow it further. Is it inside or outside of this building? Boy, that's ominous as shit. Never mind. Never mind. Really? Alright, well, let's see what's over here. It's a path leading over to this. Okay, bye. What else is over here? Yeah, like, I can't even interact with it. Let me into this Museum of Natural History building. It looks really pretty. That might be important. I don't know. It's probably nothing. It just looks like a prettier version of the Knoxville Sun Sphere. Wait. Wait. No, wait. Oh, there's a lever. The lever didn't do anything. Okay, well... goodbye, I guess. Straight up, like, I know this is supposed to be like a stairway that's just like sloped down, but there's slats in between that look big enough to fit your toes in. And there's handrails. You could literally just use this as a ladder. You absolutely could climb this. But that's okay. We'll just go. There was another path. You don't get to go in here either. This whole damn game is... lever? I don't know what that is. Inability to use improvised ladders is the price you pay for being able to climb over waist-high railings. I don't want... I would rather have neither of those powers or both. Touch it. Touch it. Rub your butt on it. There's a gold one. Lick it! Oh. I have an idea. Oh, that's so obnoxious. I hate it. Maybe not after you put... What? Unless you're into that. In which case, absolutely just do you. Well, that didn't do shit. Hi, Bloodwolf did, though. Hello. Hello there. How's it going? And thank you. Oh, you hit good people with those subs, too. Good. Is the Steam Deck as ridiculously large and unwieldy as I've heard? Like, I've heard, like, almost universally good things about its actual, like, capabilities. But I've also heard a lot of people say, like, yeah, it's great, but it's, like, embarrassingly large. Which I think is only because people only have the Switch to compare it to. Literally, we could climb up. Oh, we could absolutely climb up this. Once again, I have hit a lever and been given no indication as to what it's actually for. Smaller than a laptop is an important point of comparison. It's funny that you had a big doomed business trip canceled. Was it, like, I'm curious, what is your general feeling on the doomed business trip being canceled? Like, are we happy or annoyed at this? I say it's funny because Jessie is currently on her big doomed business trip. Yeah, this also sounds like what Jessie is up to. For those who don't know, Jessie's currently in Ireland, which is a trip that she has been trying to schedule since literally 2020. Technically, I think it's been in the planning stages since 2019. Although, now that I've mentioned that, I don't think I'm supposed to be broadcasting that information. For reasons that are not, like, really a big deal, but that... I bet it's that. But if I were to explain why I'm not supposed to really be talking about that, it would actually just be giving more information about it. So I'm gonna stop myself there. Ha ha! Why am I just looking at different types of butts? Book? Book. Book! I have to read, and this text is annoying. This sure isn't getting 100 fruits. Though somehow it feels just as tedious. You know what? I don't miss you, Cursive. When I was in 4th grade, we got, that was the first year we got, like, actual, like, A to F grades. And I got basically A's in every subject, but every morning they would test penmanship, which is literally like how neat and orderly is your handwriting. And they would have a paragraph of text on the board that we were supposed to copy into our notebooks. That was just about some, you know, random fact about like the Mariana Trench or some historical figure or something like that. And that was the only thing that I like I never got above a B. All of my grades were between like C- and B+. Hey, thanks, and also thanks. I'm actually going to choose to read this out of the chat instead of off of the actual book. So much appreciated. All right, 82 to 13. The latest ink formulation has proven a failure. Even when writing in my most promising books, I obtain only the barest glimmer of a connection. It is frustrating to expend so much effort creating a blank book only to end up destroying it when it doesn't work. There are days when the lab is uncomfortably warm from the flames of these failed attempts. The further I refine each element, the formulations of the inks and papers, the physical dimensions of the books, the more the list of potential combinations is nearly infinite. It is during moments like these that I despair. Without access to Denis, my long-term goals may never be accomplished. Nevertheless, there are avenues of research which remain to be explored. (8258) I am discontinuing regular observations of the stars beneath the fissure. Although I've been able to track the dark cloud-like formations that migrate through the star field and have proven that coffee stain their paths are cyclical, without proper instrumentation, it is pointless to continue. My general theory concerning the nature of the fissure has remained unaltered since it first appeared. It seems that the fabric of this age has been breached in a way that permits matter to be hospitably exchanged between two discrete but overlapping spaces, much like a link. The apparent physical contradictions surrounding this juncture defy logical reason. The great column of wind that was formed when the fissure first appeared suggests a vacuum, as one might expect in space, yet my early experimentation revealed the presence of a breathable atmosphere that Atrus? And Catherine threw themselves into the void is further evidence that it might be safe to travel. Without knowing its true nature, I cannot take the risk myself. It is also difficult to say what would happen if I... Yes, hi, I haven't played Myst. I haven't played Myst. Someone who was listening to the podcast sent in a message and was like, would you be interested in playing Riven? And I was like, I haven't played any Myst game. I haven't played any of these games, and I don't really know what they are. But I looked it up, and it seemed to be that a lot of people said Riven is the best one, or at least one of the better ones, and you can play it without having played Myst. So I was like, sure, let's boot it up and go. So if this is lore tying back to the first game, I will need a fill-in. That's just the guy you're talking to in the intro cutscene. The guy with the books? The guy who isekai'd me? The old dude? Because I kind of thought, for some reason, that this would be him talking, but clearly not, because he's not in this world, so why would that be him? Alright, further evidence it might be safe to travel without knowing its true nature. I cannot take the risk myself. It is also difficult to say what would happen if I were to reopen it after so long, but it is likely that the results would be catastrophic, given the changes that have occurred in this age since that time. Maintenance on the steam vent caps completed. 83-210. I am extremely pleased with the continued success of this system. I believe the connection to have been the designs of my memory. Another example of the superiority of the Denis technology. It's ironic that Atris and Catherine unwittingly provided me with such a convenient source of power. Is this just explaining to me the shit that I already figured out about operating the... Oh, there's more. Okay. Yeah, I have heard that several times. I have heard an awful lot since I started this game of, yeah, you probably should have started with Myst just because it's way easier than this. Which... we're in it now. Yeah, that makes sense. The opening cutscene did seem like it was... it did seem like it was shot as, like, almost a continuation of what is probably the last scene in Myst. Like, hey, good to have you back. Now get back in there, champ. As with many of my views over the years, my thoughts regarding the origin of the fissure have changed. Recently began to wonder whether it was actually an unexpected byproduct of the changes Catherine and Atris wrote into this age during their escape. Hey, shoutouts to views changing over the years. Nothing's more sad than people who believe the same shit at like 60 that they did when they were 15. Certainly by casting their linking book into the void, they trapped me here quite effectively, but I do not believe that Atris intended the book to be lost in this manner. Much better to destroy it than to risk the possibility of its falling into unknown hands. Also, had they foreseen the creation of the fissure, they would surely have thought the vacuum it created would eventually consume the atmosphere of this planet, a fate which Catherine undoubtedly would have deemed unacceptable for her home world. If I had not been there to supervise the construction of the seal, this is most certainly what would have happened, for the villagers were far too frightened to even approach the vortex without my urging. I hold on to the belief that it was an unintended consequence of their waiting for another reason as well. I prefer to think that my son had meant for this age to merely be a prison for me rather than a death sentence. Fox, you had me in the first half, not gonna lie. Well played. 83-514. Construction of the Imagers has proceeded without fault. It's interesting to see how easily I've been able to adapt the Denis technology to mimic that of the Ahmad. Ahmad? In some ways, the similarities between the two cultures was striking. I wonder, oh god. Hold up. Yeah, screen grabbing that, thanks. Wonder if perhaps there had been communication or commerce between the two cultures in earlier times. Maybe Keta's people were even descendants of the Denis. It pleases me to think so. Note, it's possible that if I were somehow able to have supplied the books with a power source of sufficient magnitude, I could suppress the variance enough to facilitate a solid link. It is doubtful that the geothermal cap generators could provide such an enormous surge. Perhaps I could adapt the fire marbles? Fire marbles? Fire marbles? Alright. I've been cataloging the natural elements of this age for nearly 30 years now, yet still I continue to find evidence of the Denis' preoccupation with fire? Fire 5? Gonna go with fire. It looks like 5. But I think that fire is more of a natural element than 5. As a boy, it was very clear to me that the number 5... I stand fucking corrected immediately. Okay. As a boy, it was very clear to me that the number 5 had a special significance to the Denis society, from the ancient heraldic emblems of the ruling elite to the humble homes of the commoners. It was ubiquitous. Its presence here is obviously a direct reflection of the minds that designed the texts that I used to compose this age. Further proof that through their art, the Denis masters were indeed creating the marvelous worlds they wrote, and not, as many have mistakenly thought, merely building links to pre-existing worlds. While most of my constructions have been based on Denis designs, I see now that the ones that I have imbued with the power of 5... Until we know better, it is the power of 5er. The ones I have imbued with the power of 5er are clearly the most beautiful and the most perfect, and I believe the most structurally sound. Well, that's not been my experience with using 5er, but whatever works for you. Jesus Christ, there's more. I'm still attempting to determine how the Denis color symbology... Now, I'm definitely not sponsored by Fiverr. I do all my work on Upwork, which also doesn't sponsor me, but I do make good money on that platform. I also pay them good money to be on that platform. Riven diagram. I'm gonna have to start saving these screenshots. Like, not even slightly joking when you said this is now a reading stream. God damn. literally just saving these images to desktop at this point, because... Almost halfway. Great! I'm sure I'll remember all of this. Like, this is... I get it. It's the 90s. I get it. I understand. I know. There weren't rules. But, like... sending me through, giving me an opening video cutscene with a whole bunch of dialogue, followed by 10 hours of wandering with no text or dialogue whatsoever. And then immediately dumping you into, and by the way, here's like 2,000 words of story, and then presumably right back into continuing to walk around and not get anything. Not the sequence of events that I am most comfortable with from a storytelling pacing perspective. But I understand it's 1997. They gotta get it in there. No. I cannot leave this and keep reading more between. I can't do that because I will never find my way back here again. Or at least not easily. I mean, unless I can pick this up and take it with me. Maybe it goes in my inventory, but I'm not risking that. Still attempting to determine how the Denis color symbology reflects this superior design principle. Although superficially it is based on a 6-color system, I'm convinced there has to be a deeper connection to 5. I will continue to investigate. And then there's like dragon eye, closed eye, sleepy eye, nipple, snake eye, and closed snake eye? It's fine. I finally made a breakthrough. I have succeeded in modifying the fire marbles to generate enough power to hold a descriptive linking book in a stable matrix. I've linked to a new world. It is a harsh and desolate age, but it is nonetheless well suited for my purposes, and I have designated it my... Fuck you. Double fuck you! I have designated it my 98erd. That's how those work. Let me double check that. Yep, that's a 9. And the box that is arrow pointing left is definitely 8. That, ellipses, that doesn't make it better. 98nd is not any better than 98erd. They're both fucking no. '98th. By studying it closely, I believe I will eventually be able to create a more appropriate age for satellite dish for us to resettle on. For now, I will build an office and set up my living quarters there in order that I may conduct my experiments in safety and without distraction. Sure, let's grab this one too. Why not? Since this is gonna be a thing, just make a whole folder called Riven Screen Grabs. I'm gonna drop these two in it. And we go in there and we're gonna call this Satellite Dish or some shit. I must admit that I am proud of my work. To think that in such primitive conditions I have accomplished in 29 years what it took the original Denise centuries to achieve. Humble brag. Note, repair outerwear for work on this world. The goggles may need to be redesigned altogether. $84,413. I've begun construction. Fuck this game, by the way, if they expect me to make any connection whatsoever with the dates. If those have absolutely any relevance to anything, we just won't finish this game. So let's hope. I've begun construction on a series of link sites for each I just got upset because this fucker is using Arabic numerals in the text, except when he decides not to. I have accomplished in 29 years, 84,413. But I've begun construction on a series of link sites for each island that will connect Riven with my new office on Symbol. That is also 98. The Survey Guild has finally completed site location for each island. According to my exact specifications, an installation of the domes is underway at last. Dome! Work on the central power source got off to a bit of a bad start, I'm afraid, but the pace has picked up considerably since then. I anticipate no further delays. I'm looking forward to finally having a civilized mode of transportation. This right here upsets me. I don't want this. There is, or at least was, a survey guild. I guess, you know, just looking for life outside the walls. Alright, let's grab this one. Dome and diagram with Tetris blocks. Due to the rebels' continued disturbances, I've decided to install a coded access system into all of the domes. Five. Followed by 4 numbers that I don't understand. So we actually have to learn to count past 10. I caught one of my assistants looking over this journal today. I'm glad I've chosen to write it in a language they cannot decipher. Note, discuss security with each guild master. No problems expected from the maintainers, educators, and surveyors. Question the bookmakers and builders more closely. Yeah, there do seem to be some that are, like, either tilted or, like, so the first one looks like 5, but if you turn it 90 degrees, it could also be 1. The second one looks like a 7 turned on its side. The middle one doesn't actually look like anything. That looks sort of like a 3 and a 4 combined or something like that. The fourth one looks like 8 turned on its side, and the last one looks completely indecipherable. Unless it's like a Roman numeral counting system. No, this damn well might be something. 5. $11. 14. Sure about that one. I actually know what 1 through 10 are. Because some of them still look like they're twisted. Alright, so I'm not really explaining my thought process out loud because it's all kind of spinning. I've written down the code for what 1 through 10 actually are. But then I realize that 5 is just a blank box with a horizontal line through it. And everything after 5 is basically 5 plus 1 through 4. So it's an almost like Roman, whoops, sorry table. So it's an almost Roman numeral style counting system. So like 6 is horizontal line plus vertical line. 5 plus 1, 6. They're just combined into the same symbol. 7 is just the 2 with the horizontal line through the middle of it. Camera, come back to me. And same with 8 being like the little bow facing to the left with the vertical line. 9 is a little bit messy, but it's basically 4 with the vertical line. And then 10 is kind of its own thing, which if you consider it being a Roman numeral style counting system, 1, 5, and 10 are unique symbols. And then, you know, you combine 1, 5, and 10 to get new numbers. So, working off of that, there are similar features here. Like, this thing coming in from the side and going down is the symbol for 4, and the bow going across the bottom looks like 10, so this might be 14? But I don't have a symbol that looks like a bow facing down, like an angle like this facing downward. The vertical line would suggest 1. But I don't know what this is, because the bow facing up is 10. Also, I think it matters whether the line is curved, like this, or angled like this. Like this has a sharp angle point. And if that's the case, I think 10 is actually sharp angled up, not bowed. So I may still actually be wrong about, I may actually still be wrong about what those refer to. But I do think I have figured out that general form of counting. So, in theory, if I can learn like a couple more symbols, we should have not just an idea of what the numbers actually are, but a break in the actual counting system so that we can identify numbers we haven't seen before just by using the system that we've learned. Like, I don't need to know what 24 looks like if I know what 20 and 4 look like. Anyway, saving this as coded access system. Right, so we've got a maintainers guild, an educators guild, a surveyors guild, and they're all good. And the bookmakers guild and the builders guild are sus. Got it. Today I heard several more reports of spirit sightings by some of the villagers. It seems that under Catherine's leadership, the rebels, or the Black Moisty, that's absolutely not what that is, but it looks like the Black Moisty. And I'm having trouble figuring out what is this word? What is it? What is this letter specifically? It could be an E? Is it moiety? The Black Moiety? You are kidding yourselves if you think I'm not gonna call this the Black Moisty for the rest of the game. That is absolutely happening, and we're all going to deal with it together. That's what the villagers obstinately insist on referring to them. Guess that makes me a villager. They've attained a new level of sophistication in their terror tactics and have renewed their campaign to intimidate the villagers into joining them, playing upon their shared superstitions. The villagers are certainly susceptible to this form of coercion, especially given of late the rebels' increasing acts of vandalism and theft. The Yitrem traps have been steadily fruitful this year. Apparently, the breakup of the islands has not adversely affected the subterranean ecosystems. Unfortunately, I imagine the rebels are experiencing a similarly generous harvest, no shortage of poison for their darts this season. Such morbid issues aside, thank you for that. That makes me very happy. The sudden availability has allowed me to refine a particularly pleasant extract for my pipe. One that is smoother than any of the others from recent years. Yo! Just hanging out in your lab, token up in Riven? Alright. Who's gonna stop you? Chemical analysis of one of the rebel knives yielded curious results. Its composition contains elements that are unlike anything I've encountered on the islands. It appears they have access to a resource of which I am unaware. Perhaps oh yeah, I probably don't need to save this. I know what that looks like. We're on an uncharted island. Most of their knives have been found on the south side of the village. It's the same area in which there have been reports of people mysteriously disappearing. I think a closer inspection of the area is warranted. The fact they leave these distinct knives as a sign of their presence concerns me. They're growing more bold and seem to no longer fear discovery of their hideout. The latest measurements indicate that the recent trend has continued. The movement of the islands has slowed tremendously. My previous estimates predicted a total collapse in approximately 3 months, but with the new figures, I am uncertain. I've nearly finished writing the 99th age. So that one gets to be 99th. And I have every faith that it will indeed be a safe place for us to relocate to, yet it would be helpful to know what has caused the halt in this age's breakup. Is it possible it's stable after all? If so, I must discover how this age differs from my less successful attempts. My examinations of the 98th age have thus far proven inconclusive. Or perhaps someone is repairing the damage to the 5th age. I assume they're referring to a different one, but why suddenly this? Why suddenly 5th and not symbol-erd? If so, it'd almost certainly be Atreus' doing. I've reluctantly decided to abandon my experience into the behaviorian of the water of this age, as there are more pressing matters on which I must now concentrate, leaving me little time for such speculative research. For future reference, however, my investigations up to this point have revealed the following. I believe the remarkable properties of the water to be caused by a life form that resides in it, specifically a type of bacteria. I'm imagining a motile unicellular organism, but one with structures capable of holding bits of water, whose combined effect, via surface tension, a stronger force, causes the composite body of water to move in response to heat. Prolonged exposure to extreme heat, for example, a period of extended boiling, seems to kill the bacteria, which would explain its dramatic aversion to heat sources. Unfortunately, these theories are still not fully tested, and I remain ignorant both of its deeper nature and its possible uses. Exciting development. Last night, a squad of maintainers stumbled upon a lone rebel scout and obtained from him a most incredible device. It is a crystal that somehow powers these flawed linking books, much as my own system does, but with an obvious advantage. It is small and weighs only a few pounds, making it completely affordable. Catherine must have fabricated the device before I captured her, obviously with an explicit Denis schematic she must have brought with her to this age. If only I had had access to such a document all these years. Regardless, I can now concentrate solely on the writing of ages and need no longer worry about building elaborate power supplies for each new book I write. This is a sobering reminder, however, that I must continue to seek an avenue to Denis. Regaining access to the resources there may be crucial to the completion of my mission. Empty frame. The end.